Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within.
Sunday morning, we're going to continue our series on what it means to be devoted. We've taken a look at the New Testament church in Acts chapter 2, and we've seen what they were devoted to. It gives us 4 things at the very beginning. It says they were devoted to the teaching, and we studied that. What does it mean to be devoted to teaching? We opened up our church covenant, and we said, what do we believe and why do we believe it? And it's very important for us to understand that as a church body. Then we went on to koinonia, to be devoted to fellowship. And we understood what that means to love one another, but not only to love one another physically, but spiritually. We love each other through Christ. It's koinonia together. Then we talked about what it means to be devoted to the breaking of bread and to prayer. And here we move on to what it means to be devoted to church. And that's where we're going to be on Sunday morning. What does it mean to be devoted to church? I'm going to read you 3 verses that we're going to be on Sunday morning. Acts chapter 2, starting in verse 44. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all, as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together. And we can pull apart a bunch of different things from those 3 verses in grasping what a church is, right? So for instance, a church could be all who believed. And that could be the definition that we're going to start a church that it's all who believe. And then another way to start a church, and this is pretty common in this day and age, that we start a church based on that we have all things in common. So because I like the Thunder and you like the Thunder, we should start a church together. But that's not exactly what they're talking about here. Then we should sell everything we own, right? And we should just all be homeless because that's what it says that we're supposed to do. And then we need to be legalistic and we need to come to church every single day. Day by day, they went to the temple. Right? And there's a lot of different elements here that you've seen different churches take as a way of forming a church body. But the key that everybody misses, the only word that's important here is the word together. That's forming a church. What it means to be devoted to a church is being devoted together, to each other. You're in unity, you're a bond, you're a group of soldiers together, taking ground from the enemy. And that's what we're called to do. And so on Sunday morning, we're going to talk about how our church is going to be unified. It's going to be bonded together, that we're going to be devoted to the church, not this building, but devoted to this body of believers. Hope I see you on Sunday morning. It's going to be a tremendous service, and hopefully it's a great message. It'll speak to your heart. As I always encourage you to do, live the life and tell the story.
Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that is greater than all our